Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Dale. Today I have Nate Berkey and Mike Sheets with me. They're the guys you're going to talk to if you call in here looking to buy an engine from us. So I just want to walk through a few questions with them and maybe clear up some questions you might have of what you need to ask when you're calling in for an engine. So guys, thank you for joining me today. First thing I want to ask is, what are some of the engines we have? Obviously, right here, out of the gate, we see this jet engine beside us here. Tell me about this. Is this all we carry, or what do we have?
Well, this one's kind of unique to what we would carry. It's a Citation jet engine. Most of what we have is going to be piston engine, so a lot of Continental, Lycoming stock. Not as many turbine, although we do get some in, and we even have some radial engines too.
So you said piston engines. Are you talking just single engines? Do we have twin engine? What do we have? Tell me some of the models or what they are.
We salvage twin Cessnas, so we'll get a lot of Continental 475-20s.
Okay.
We'll get run-out cores, we'll get prop strikes, we'll get sometimes a really nice mid-time. So that's the most popular that we would have. Along with that, we have some radial engines, Pratt & Whitney's. We do have some Wrights, 1820s. And then we go from a small Continental, and then we get into the Lycomings, a lot of geared engines come through here. So it all depends what we find when we're looking or what finds us. Okay.
So how do we get our engines? Do we go out to find these? Now, I think you said something about salvaging airplanes. Tell me how do we get all of our engines that we have?
Buying and selling inventories mostly. We do part out to an engine Cessna, but there's a lot of times we'll buy a load of inventory from a shop that maybe is going out of business, or if there's a place that just has excess engines or engine parts. That's how we end up with a lot of that too.
Okay. Yeah. So Mike was saying something about telling the different conditions they're in, like a run-out core. What's a run-out core? Why would I want to buy a run-out core?
Normally, if you go to buy a new engine and you don't have a suitable engine to turn in, say Continental,
okay,
you would buy a core from us to return it to get core credit on it. The other one is, if your engine has suffered major damage, it's cheaper just to buy another engine and start with that.
Okay. So what comes on these engines? Like you say, a run-out core. Like if somebody calls us and says that they're looking for this run-out core, we happen to have it. What information, I guess, do you need from them when they say, I got 421C, I need the left engine? What information do you need from me? And if you sell me a core, I guess I'll make this two questions. If you sell me that core, what's going to come on it? All the accessories, basically, it's, take it off the engine mount, put this one on, you're good to go.
Sure.
What is it?
Yeah. Main thing we try to find out first is what the application is going to be. That helps us a lot of times try to find a match for what you're needing. We would always start with the engine model, so we have to have the exact model and type of engine. There's a prefix and a suffix on each one of these engines, whether it's Lycoming, Continental, whatever it is. And then from there we just kind of search our inventory for that model, and keep in mind if you're looking for something mid-time, low-time, or if you're just needing a core, that helps us kind of narrow down what would be the best fit.
Okay. So if we have a mid-time engine, you sell me the mid-time engine, that's going to be an engine that I can literally just put on my airplane and it's ready to go. Does it have to go to an engine shop? Are we an engine shop? Can you answer that?
We're not an engine shop.
Okay.
We deal with a lot of engine shops. The main thing is when you go to buy a mid-time engine, it's important to have the logbooks and get the hours.
Okay.
And most times, 99% of the time, we'll have the logbooks with the last entry, so you can go back through the records, know when it was serviced, if it was overhauled.
Okay.
and that type of thing. It'll tell you if it's on its first overhaul or its last overrun, it's a last run. So all that information would be in the logbooks, and it's good to have that, and because it'll put the customer, give him more confidence going forward.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so we touched on that now. Now I said, if I buy that mid-time, it comes to me, I'm ready to put it on. What accessories are going to be on that engine? Do I need to keep all the ones that were on my other engine, or how does that work?
Normally with piston engines, it's going to have the starter, oil cooler, the fuel system, and the magnetos.
Okay.
As long as those are available. If they're not, then we let you know, hey, it's missing something, or if it has extra accessories, we'll let you know that too.
Okay.
We do sell accessories, so if we're selling an engine that just has maybe minimal accessories and you're needing more, we can find those in stock sometimes and sell those as well.
Okay, so that actually brought me to another question that I wanted to ask you was, do we have accessories for people? What condition would those accessories be in? I guess. Can you answer that one for me?
We do. We have a new surplus, which is new old stock.
Okay.
Overhauled condition, repaired condition, or used as removed. Maybe a good working condition, but just no paperwork with the used.
Okay.
Kind of the same as a serviceable part, only the serviceable tag isn't there. But
Okay.
we would still allow customers 30 days to inspect it, maybe provide their own tag for it, or if it's found out to be non-working, we'll gladly take it back in exchange and try and get something better.
Okay. Okay. So you say they're overhauled. Like, we overhaul those here, or?
No, we don't. We send them out to different shops, and they do the
Okay.
overhaul work. Sometimes we buy inventories that have overhaul paperwork provided already.
Okay.
So, and that's nice. I mean, if they have an older tag, if that's the case too.
Right.
So,
Right.
And we normally don't overhaul them for a customer, saying the customer would not send it to us, we would not send it to the shop. We would sell it to the customer,
Okay.
and he would send it to the shop from there, and the shop will deal with us normally. Say there's an issue with any of the internal parts.
Right.
The shop could deal directly with us as far as a replacement or a credit for the bad parts.
Okay. Okay. And so, like, the overhauled accessories that we do have on our shelf, like, if we sell that to people, are they outright? Do we want their core back, or do we ask for cores on accessories usually?
We do, yes.
Okay.
We stock most 475/20s. We'll stock most of the starter adapters. We may have some magnetos that are overhauled. So there's a lot of, and the other thing that we normally have on these engines, sometimes we get them with the baffling, and most of the time it's either pretty nice or pretty bad.
Okay.
So that may save you, if your baffling is not the best, we can just leave it on the engine, but that would be an added cost.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, to touch again on something else Mike said was the prop strike engines. Like, so what needs to happen if you have a prop strike engine? Is it just junk, or what needs to happen? Can it be used again?
Absolutely. The big thing is, the first thing you would have to do is go to an engine shop to be taken apart, inspected, have all the major parts, crankshaft, case would be inspected, the rods would all be magnafluxed. And if those are all good, they can repair them, return them to service. If not, if there's a problem with the case or the crank, we would replace it,
Okay.
or give a credit if we don't have another one. And basically, that would all be the customer's responsibility above and beyond the replacement of the parts.
Okay.
And then they would either reseal it if it was in good condition. They may want to put rings and bearings in it. At the least, you would probably just reseal it, new gaskets and seals. And when you would receive it back, you'd have a return to service document to go with that.
Okay. Okay. So I have a 421C and I need an engine for it. Is that all I need to tell you guys when I call in, or do you need more information from me? What would you need?
we like to have the engine model to start with. Once we have that, that means the prefix and the suffix, specifically what model engine it is that you're looking for.
Okay.
And then sometimes it's nice to know the application too. If we know if you're looking for low time, mid time, or even just a run out core, that helps us get a feel for your need and what we have here, and we can try to make a better match But for sure, once we have a model, then we can start from there and kind of go through our inventory and see what would be best.
Okay, okay.
So if you have an engine that you're looking for, particular model-wise, and we don't show it in our advertisements, just be sure to call, because the basic engines are the same as far as the case. The difference is mainly the accessories.
Okay.
So at the time of the prop strike, you may be able to change your engine or use our engine with your accessories.
Okay.
So be sure to call with any availability, because sometimes we don't show a particular model, but we might have something in the works that we know we're going to get.
Okay.
So it's always good to call to get the most current information.
Okay. So, talking about that as well, I just want to cover this too. Like, if I'm looking for a certain crankshaft or crankcase, and we have an engine here, are we going to take that apart to sell that crankshaft or crankcase?
So usually what we would do is check our inventory. We list all of our cases, cranks, engines on our website. So there's information there on what we have. But then also, if someone would call in, sometimes things come in and they're not quite inventoried yet, so they won't show up on the site quite yet.
Okay.
It's good just to check in to see if you don't see what you're looking for there. Or just call anyway. You're always welcome in calls. And we can at least, if we don't see it on our computer, we'll go check, make sure we don't have it before we tell you. But
We have taken engines apart to get components out of. If the engine has some damage in a certain area, but we know the case and the crank are still good, those are the primary components.
Okay.
So not saying we do that in every case, but if we can, we'd gladly work with you.
Okay. Good. So I know a lot about how the engine department works here, and how we get our engines, how we sell them, how we treat customers. What is something each of you would like customers to know about the engine department, about, like, you two are the main guys that handle our engine sales. What is something that you don't think most customers know? Without being here, you couldn't know. What would you like them to know?
I think the first thing is that all of the engines are in a climate-controlled environment. Sometimes people get the misconception that maybe this is a scrapyard where there's just a whole field full of aircraft that have engines attached to them or something like that, where they're out in the elements, and that's not the case. We've got these all climate-controlled, stored, preserved. And the other thing is, with cylinders particularly, we don't really stock cylinders anymore, but we do offer those on eBay if they're available when they come in. So
Right.
if they come in, they go straight to eBay, and then that's a good place to check if you're looking for a cylinder.
Right. And then also the bargain hanger. Like, we've started putting a lot of the buy it nows that we're offering on eBay. They're listed on our bargain hanger on our website, so you can avoid the eBay fees too and just buy them directly from us.
Yeah.
So, okay, how about you, Mike? You have anything you'd like the customers to know that you don't think they know?
I'd like them to know that to not be afraid to call us, even if it's just to ask a question. As far as interchangeability or source, feel free to call us. We do it all the time for people, and I enjoy trying to help people to get what they need. We may not be able to help them this time, but if we can do a referral, maybe they'll remember us, so don't be afraid to call us.
Right. Good, good. So, we've talked about the low-time engines, mid-time, run-out core. What about non-airworthy engines? Are they good for anything, or what do we do with those?
Yeah, they've got a few uses. They can be torn down if the parts are salvageable within the engine. The components may be
Okay.
sent out for overhaul if they're going to be passing inspection. But then also we've got a lot of people running airboats, things like that, that
Oh, okay.
they may have a need for something that doesn't necessarily have to be airworthy, but it's what they need to run an airboat, or even some experimental aircraft. If people want to buy an engine and just work on it, tear it apart,
Sure.
rebuild it, they don't have as many restrictions as companies and places like that would have to run them. So
Okay, gotcha. Good, good.
And along those lines, we also have a ton of used parts that would be perfect and for an application where you don't need paperwork.
Okay.
And again, we have rocker arms and connecting rods, and so again, that's a good source if you are running an airboat and need parts.
Right, right. Okay, good, good. Okay, so thanks, guys. I think we covered all the questions that I had, but I guess the one question I have left is this engine that's behind us here. Can you tell me about this engine?
yeah, this is a Williams engine. It's an FJ44-1AP. Came out of a Citation jet, and it was involved in a tornado hangar damage situation where we were able to acquire the aircraft, and then these are good running engines leading up to the incident.
Okay.
Yeah, we're taking offers on it right now. We're trying to find a buyer, and anyone that's interested, send them our way.
Okay, great. Well, guys, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. And for any of you guys out there that have any more questions, Nate and Mike, they're in our sales department. They'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. Thanks for watching today. Have a good weekend. Stay safe.